and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another darling Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture. We'll be nice, here to review all that happened last night's episode of AEW Dynamite. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we review AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett. Sadly, Michael Sidgwick doing his fatherly duties on half-term here.
No. He's not. No, he's not. Wilbourn, what is he? He's a part-timer. Oh, can I just shock you, Wilbourn? Michael Sidgwick's off again. Can we stop this fatherly duties bullshit? Do you think I'm ever not in this studio for any reason other than family duties? I don't want them any more than you or Sidgwick, quite honestly, right? I'd rather be here talking about the business with my buddies.
Yes.
But I'm not. I have to do fatherly duties, and then I'm going to check out what my buddies are saying, my buddies are saying about the business. What I'm hearing is, can you believe it, Sid? He's having another day off. How many dentist appointments have I had? I'll tell you, 0, because I'm doing fatherly duties. But no, when I have a fatherly duties day, you're not going to believe it, Hamflett's off again. So that's where Sidgwick is. He's taking a day off, as he is allowed to do.
He is?
By the subject of our contract, whenever he wants. Compared to America, the UK's very reasonable holiday allowance. That's what he's doing. And I'll thank you to remember that the next time that I am.
Noted. We're here to review AEW Dynamite and all the fallout from Double or Nothing.
Good Dynamite.
Mixed bag, wasn't it?
I liked it.
No, not for me.
Let's see who can convince the other of our arguments. I had a good time with this Dynamite. It was when we did the preview in which we addressed the various gates of the internet.
Of course, without mentioning the gates of agony. Thank you to everyone who pointed that out in the comment section yesterday.
Gate point. There wasn't a lot. This is an AEW thing typically with the Fallout shows. They kind of, and it makes sense to leave the card open, to leave a bit of mystery in the air about things that are coming off the back of the pay-per-view.
And the reports today, they're all banged up, obviously, following Double or Nothing.
Understandably so. Like, it behooves them, I guess, to leave the element of surprise, because a pay-per-view should have either cliffhangers or stuff where you're like, well, I don't know what's going to happen next with these wrestlers. I want to know what the next direction is. And if you just, as we said before, if like Tony Khan sometimes is his own worst enemy because he's a victim of his own booking, because he's like, wait a minute, could this obvious wrestler and this obvious wrestler, if they can beat these jobbers in this tournament, face each other in the next round, like, it doesn't help him to book loads in front on these Dynamites. No. So I think I liked it for that. Like, I didn't see a couple of the graphic drops last night going into the Dynamite, so more of this was a surprise than not, I would say. And I think the show benefited from another great atmosphere. The venue looked lovely. Yeah. Like, this sort of stuff is mattering and is making a difference every week. Yeah, I've seen a mixed reaction to this Dynamite, which I suppose speaks to your personal experience of it. But I had a good time. This was my cup of tea.
Yeah, I think the big stuff they got right. It was just a lot of the other things that I was not so impressed by. But I may have a new favourite thing in AEW. And, well, place your bets now as to what you think that might be.
Yeah.
But we'll dive straight into it because the show opens, understandably, with Tony Schiavone introducing the Men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament winner and the man heading to All In to hopefully take that title off Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, who gets obviously a huge reaction in El Paso, Texas. Schiavone talks about how it's an incredibly dramatic win for Page on Sunday, but Page takes the mic and, following quite right, you deserve it chance. He says, triumph in life is momentary. You wake up in the morning, the moment's passed you by, but so is defeat. The past 2 or even 3 years, it's something he has let himself lose sight of. What matters isn't the win or loss, it's what you decide to do with it that matters. He talks about Double or Nothing, where 2 men entered the ring knowing one of them had to be defeated, and he thanks Will Ospreay for the fight of his life and reminding him on why he decided to do this in the first place. And it, destroyed any notions he had of Ospreay not being able to be the person carrying this company forward, because he quite rightly can be as well. He said, one of us tasted defeat, the other tasted victory. I can't relish in it, though. It's fleeting. As is the title around my waist, it's not something I'm going to defend. Next year, they'll crown a new champion, and he hands the title to Toni Schiavone because he says he's got to look forward to what it's all been about, the men's AEW World Championship. It's the prize and responsibility he's chased every moment since AEW's existence. But that title's been locked away for months now in a briefcase. It's not a shining light to show the world what the letters AEW meant, the human dignity we all strive to treat each other with. That's what it's all about, he says. He said, look, my first day in AEW, I told the fans, you'd be my boss. So tonight I'm going to make another promise. In 7 weeks in Texas, I will win the AEW title, free it from that briefcase, and I will defend it with every fiber of my being. And that is a promise I will keep. Whose house?
Swerve's house.
Swerve comes out. Here we go. And he marches out by himself. There's a very intense face-off, understandably, between the two of them. And he says, I've employed Kyle O'Reilly. Let's see what he's been working on. A long-standing bit there. Yep. And it's the footage, obviously, of the April 9th Dynamite with the Young Bucks explaining why they cost Swerve the world title at Dynasty. It's for their best friend, Hangman Adam Page. They still love him, and they know that he still loves them. Swerve just looks at him. Say about that, have you? He says, a few months ago, I had the same opportunity you conveniently now have at All In. At Dynasty, I had Mox beat, but the Bucks cost me the title. You know who else was in that ring? You, Hangman Page. And you've had a bit of a clean path. I mean, he's got to go through the Owen Hart tournament, but still. Yep. Clean path to the title since I lost. He's calling collusion on all this. And he wants to remind everyone that Page told the world he will stop Swerve ever getting a world championship again. And he says, don't freaking lie to me. Did you do this? And Page fires back, well, dumbass. Dynasty, I locked my eyes on you and then on Moxley. And for one godforsaken second, I even thought about helping you. If I wanted to cost you that match, I'd have done it myself to your face because I've done it before. And Swerve says, sounds good, but you're still full of shit. I know, what's about to happen? But Will Ospreay's music hits. He comes out to attempt to play Peacemaker, I suppose, here. He walks down. There's a wonderful moment with all three men in the ring. Ospreay, leave it, lads. They're not worth it. Come on. There's crowds are loving it, obviously. And Ospreay faces off with Page, but then turns around to face off with Swerve and says, look, I hate getting into your business. You're like a big brother to me, but you're wrong about Hangman. Look, Page had a decision to make after our match on Sunday. He could have just celebrated and walked away, but he stopped on the ramp, came back and helped me back up, shook my hand. He cares about AEW. The same thing happened when you beat me last year, Swerve. You picked me up. And he says, look around. People are starting to believe in us again. And he hates saying this to Swerve, but it's not Swerve Strickland. It's not Will Ospreay. It's Hangman Adam Page. He says, we have one shot at this. We can make this easier for Page if we all work together. You, me, and Hangman. And Swerve just slaps the mic out of Ospreay's hands and screams that he'll never work with Page. Storms off, and Page has a face-off with Ospreay and says, yeah, I'll never take Swerve's help. And he storms out as well.
Phenomenal.
Oh,
phenomenal. All In is mid-July.
Yes.
So we're away off.
It's 7 weeks, I think he said, yes.
7 weeks. So like that.
45 days. Is that right? I think we'll say that later.
7 weeks, but that's like 7 Dynamite, 7 Collision. Like it's a lot of potential television or time to fill where, as we've seen, like all the time in wrestling, but over, I don't know, say for example, like the build to WrestleMania where the extra time, you could almost feel it in certain storylines. And it's like, that's no mean feat. Like it's one of those kind of like weird misnomers with thinking about wrestling booking, and we're all guilty of it. It's like, oh, but you've done like all of this stuff in advance. What's 7 more weeks?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's the longest stretch because everybody can now see the match. Everybody can start visualizing what they want of it, and everybody wants to just get there. And that's supposed to be part of the fun, but then you've got to create the things that keep them busy in the meantime. And that's really, really tough at times.
For the purposes of the next 7 weeks, Hangman Page, you'll now be managed by Renee Paquette.
Exactly, right? So like the Renee Paquette, bam, not a factor. This was, in and of itself, a really cool distraction piece of, right, they have now told you, it's a bit like the Bobby Lashley thumbs up, thumbs down. They have told you that in order for you to get to this destination, in that case it was MJF joining the Hurt Syndicate, in this case it's Hangman Page winning the title, whether or not it's overt, they've told you that Swerve and Hangman need to be at peace for him to do that. They've created a brand. Just when you thought it was a straight road ahead, it's like, no, this isn't just a diversion. It's a natural part of the journey that Hangman Page now has to.
Yeah.
He has to find peace with Swerve Strickland somehow before winning this belt. Hangman Page says, before Swerve arrives, I'm ready, I've got the fans, we're good to go. And then Swerve says, no, you're not. And then Ospreay acknowledges, and he's right, actually, but I need to make this whole because I want it too. So
and look at like the past people who fought Death Riders, Mox in particular,
Yeah.
Cope, Swerve, Joe.
There's valid
Every week they get, numbers game.
valid narrative reason for Ospreay to be able to, at least having soaked up the defeat, kind of look above all of this and go, no, we need to all be together, we need to be united, and we need to be united behind one guy that can do it. The logic really stacks up. Hangman Page is the guy that has beaten Jon Moxley before and has proven capable of beating Moxley, like at his own game. He's tapped him out, he's defeated him, but the numbers matter. The Death Riders need dealing with. Ospreay, as you say, Swerve has been a victim of that. Ospreay looks upon AEW as this sort of Cody in the making that wants to be the change ultimately. And there's lovely synergy here with the 2025 creative rebirth of AEW. We said this a lot in our Double or Nothing review, which you can still watch on YouTube, that a lot of this doesn't work if AEW isn't firing.
Yes.
Like, fans need to buy that.
Him saying, look around, people are starting to believe in us again. If they'd have said that last year, you'd be like,
But that's such a cute line, right? Because he's talking about the baby faces in the fiction, but it is reflective of people's belief in AEW again.
Yeah.
And these two things coming together is no accident. Like, the pushed top baby faces in front of you here that are the ones that the fans have been desperately clamoring for, and AEW's, as I say, like kind of creative rebirth in 2025 have to happen together. You kind of can't do one without the other. You couldn't have done, we saw it. You couldn't do this identical story and say lift out Page for Cope.
yes.
As an example, right? And I'm not picking on Cope, but there's an example. You couldn't lift out Page and put in Daniel Garcia. It's like kind of has to be these baby faces, and it has to be now. And then AEW rises, and then AEW can book these baby faces as a result. They're simpatico, these two things. Then you've got the prospect of what I think will still be blood and guts, by the way.
Yeah, but it's got a bit quiet, hasn't it? But yes.
I think that might be how all this comes together. Like, the Ospreay, Hangman, and Swerve are all on a babyface team against the Death Rider heel team, and that's where you get your Ospreay all-in match. Something reveals itself.
Okay.
It's like an opponent reveals itself within the body of Blood and Guts, but it exists primarily for something to occur within that
Ospreay,
match.
Gabe, Kid. Let's have some more promos on.
Yeah.
What were they on? Zoom or whatever it was.
Aye, like that
Ospreay, look at my big kitchen, bruv.
that lingering historic hatred between these two Aggie Brits.
Yeah.
Right? For example.
All WCPW affair.
That's right, yeah. We've seen plenty of them in the past.
Yeah.
We'll see plenty more. It's just nicely set if you're going to do that, if you're going to do this multi-man, a bit like Anarchy in the Arena. I think I do want the thing that we kind of complain and gripe about having every single year, because Swerve and Hangman in a cage, getting enough of that, whatever it is, and AEW know what it is, I sense, whatever is going to be that moment, that nod, that handshake, that Wardlow slide in the ring to Punk between Hangman and Swerve, squared away before All In, then send you into All In with this, like, well, there's nothing. It's like Cody at 39. You're almost looking over his shoulder. I mean, we're across everything, aren't we?
Yeah.
He wins. And then if he doesn't, then it's something we've not seen. You know, it's something that we've not maybe accounted for. But you want to go into All In thinking everything is squared away. All of his affairs are in order.
Aaron Solo Sokoa.
We didn't count on Aaron Solo. Why did nobody think to check the fire exits and aisle for Aaron Solo doing the running? Yes. He could be the difference maker for Jon Moxley on the night, the newest member of the Death Riders. It's Bailey's ex, right? Like, the
Shaved head as well.
obviously, yeah. I couldn't love this more. Feels big time because it's making AEW feel big time. We're going to talk about the Death Riders more in a second, but I don't want to, but we have to. But I will say the briefcase element, like, I often thought that they would go too soon on this, and they haven't. And it's always been the one element I've liked. Like, the problem with the Death Riders has never been the belt in the briefcase. That's a pretty cool device. That's a pretty cool thing. You are literally rescuing something on the nose, but it's wrestling. Who cares? That's the one thing I've always really liked. And I'm glad that you've created this visual. It's a bit like, it's the same but different, but you know, when Kofi Kingston won the title at WrestleMania 35, and they had the real WWE title underneath the podium that the hemp one was sat on, because it was like, Kofi's journey has been about this. This belt's existed for 3 months. I don't want this.
It's nice, it was awesome belt.
Nice environment, but I don't want it. Yeah. I want the proper one. Like, they've created that with this briefcase device. It's probably been my favorite thing about the Death Riders.
And in the build, you could have a spring-loaded goo briefcase.
We still want the spring-loaded goo briefcase. Like, let's not forget about that.
Yeah.
Hangman Page goes to rescue it early, but like Moxley's gone, you want to get to rescue you in a minute. Oh, goo. A booze.
Yeah.
Booze. Inadvertent booze. Like Hangman Page, oh no. Like, I've been trying to watch how much of my lager consumption because of the all past. Like, now I've got it all over my hair. I'll have to get another haircut. Like, I love this. This. This main event scene feels just so perfectly placed ahead of like I know All In's going to be smaller, but it's still a stadium show.
Yes.
I'd love to know now. I want WrestleTix to be like
It's got a while, yeah. I'll see if I can.
I think on 15,000 at the moment, give or take, but that was before a match was announced. So it'd be great to think that these, like, the booking of these two big title matches has resulted in like people actually wanting to go if they were on the fence.
Yeah, it'd be really intriguing to see how it's changed. Ricardo.
Yeah, like what that can draw.
Well, there's all out. Ooh, Dynamite 300 on the horizon. Didn't count on that. Yeah. July 2nd. Put that in the diaries.
They keep talking about the summer. AEW's big summer.
Yeah,
lots of big events.
No, I'm going to lose myself here.
July 2nd. That's before Double or Nothing. All In, isn't it? July 2nd, it must be, because it's mid-July for All In. So
yes,
that could be like Blood and Guts, for example. Dynamite 300.
Here we go. May 27th, they provided an update. Tickets distributed 15,492 of a possible setup for 18,758. I think they'll hit that.
Well, I'm just wondering now, like, I'd love to see the spikes in the next few days, because I sense these matches will generate business.
I'll be interested to see if they open more, because it says total number of seats on map 43,000 in the Globe Life field. So,
what an achievement that'd be if they were able to go beyond what they imagine their allocation would be as well.
I just really like the way this show, sort of topped and tailed with the biggest stars and the people.
With the reverse of Double or Nothing as well.
Yeah.
An attempt to create some balance.
The presentation though of like the people who are leading this resurgence within AEW, the three men, and then obviously Mercedes and Toni in the main event, which we will get to. Following this, we see highlights of Anarchy in the Arena. I mean, there wasn't enough time to put in all the highlights, let's be honest. And then the Death Riders pull up in their truck. Out jumps Mox, Shafir, Wheeler Yuta, and Gabe Kidd. They walk through the crowd for this 3-on-3 match. Mox, Gabe Kidd, and Marina Shafir versus Mark Briscoe, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Willow Nightingale. The quintessential baby faces, really, isn't there?
Yeah. Willow Nightingale helps elevate that, but yeah, this was a supreme good guy team.
Yes. It all breaks down immediately. Of course it does. Bailey and Moxley split off. Shafir, Nightingale. Briscoe sends Kidd to the floor, does the Sabu, off the chair, onto the pile of everybody, basically takes to an early break, but he gets cut off during commercials, does Mark Briscoe, and he's in trouble when we come back. Shafir comes in and gets some shots in on Briscoe, but Briscoe fights off Kidd and Mox and brings Mike Bailey in for the hot tag, who hits some kicks and a running shooting star for 2. Then Shafir and Nightingale were in there. Nightingale hits some lariats and a thrust kick, spine buster. That gets 2 because Gabe Kidd breaks it up, yanking Nightingale by a hair. Briscoe obviously comes in and tackles him to the floor. And then Moxley puts his hands on Willow Nightingale. What a bunch of bastards.
Yep.
Bailey gets involved, does a pose. So Shafir hits him with a German suplex, but turns around into a nice Willow lariat. Everyone's down, reset. Bailey and Mox make the tag. But Yuta throws in a chair to distract the referee, allowing him to knock Mike Bailey to the floor. And Kidd sends Bailey into the barricade and then chucks him into the timekeeper's area through a table to take us to another break. When we come back, again, Bailey's in trouble. Kidd comes in, cuts off Bailey, takes out Briscoe. Bailey gets a certainly also spat at Willow Nightingale here.
It was gross.
Hits Mike Bailey with a lariat. At this point, I think we see Chris Statlander watching from backstage, and Bailey fights back and hits that awesome, if probably one of the And there's a long list of moves that really suck to take, but the standing moonsault double knees, there's no bracing for that, is there? Briscoe gets the hot tag, comes in, goes at it with Gabe Kidd. Those two clearly love fighting each other. Gabe bites him in his, already busted open head from the other night. But he misses a charge, runs into a Briscoe exploder to the outside. Briscoe and Willow come off the apron. Bayley flies off the ropes into a moonsault on the floor. Yuta gets kicked off the apron by Mike Bayley, and Briscoe hits a froggy bow on Kidd, who kicks out. Tries for a J Driller. That gets blocked, and Claudio pops up on the outside to distract Mark Briscoe. But here out of nowhere comes Commander to do his awesome rope walk dive to take out Claudio. Briscoe gets a roll-up on Moxley, but he immediately pops up. Paradigm shift, gets a bulldog choke on Briscoe. There's a camel clutch on Bayley by Kidd, and Shafir puts Mother's Milk on Nightingale. And all the babyfaces go out to the Death Riders.
Like, loads to like here. Not all necessarily by me, but loads to like. The Commander running was great. Like, what a running.
Yeah.
A running and with a rope walk. Where it's like, I'll come in and stop you with this.
To set up a match on Glaze, obviously.
Yeah. That's the Kenny Omega tournament thing, isn't it? Yeah. I thought Chris Statlander, even just being featured as somebody looking on, is interesting because it has just been Willow fending off Marina Shafir, and the Death Riders are a unit, and there's, like, at this point, we're having the men be just as violent towards Willow, and she needs an ally, somebody that can help her, and her and Chris Statlander have found they were back to mutual respect. And I've always considered Chris Statlander a bit of a female Hangman Page with an AEW.
Yeah.
And her coming in to help their, like, Willow Nightingale, like, as somebody else to kind of, like, stave off the... This was a theme of this match and the opening segment, staving off the Death Riders. Something I've been trying to do for like 6 months. But like, right, nice thing now, I don't think I need to as much anymore. Like the sense of a destination in terms of All In, and like Hangman might lose, but the belief in the first time in that destination has done a lot to lift the cloud.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, like, I'm seeing a bit more praise for the Death Riders. I wouldn't say I agree with that personally. I still kind of can't be arsed. This was, if you haven't seen this match, but you're a regular AEW fan, you've seen this match. Yeah. Like, it was an all-action Dynamite 6-person, like, as opposed to like a trios or a multi. You've seen it. You've seen it. Some are better than others. A lot of them are dictated by just the energy in the room and the chemistry between the wrestlers, and this all skewed good.
Yes.
Like, there was good chemistry between the wrestlers, as you pointed out, like the babyface team, impossible not to love. So the audience were really, really coming up from. But because you could pinpoint, this is like Bayley and Briscoe, less so Willow, but it's like, they're kind of like B-team babyfaces, so they're going to lose here. It was always a sense of them having to fight from underneath as the underdogs, and they're better underdogs to root for than some of like your top babyfaces. So it was good matchmaking and decent booking of a thing I've seen a million times.
Yeah.
But the Death Riders, there is a different energy around the Death Riders, with the sense that at long last they might be like nearing their end, which is a bit like Sidgwick was pointing out, like troll booking. It's not the way. It's not. But if you get it right at the end, a lot of people will just remember the end rather than some of the real sludge in the middle. Like, I would say the comparison with Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, is a fair one. It's a fair one because there was absolute sludge. Like 2021 Roman Reigns, I do not like. And this Death Riders one has been a shortened version of all of that. But by the time you got to the end, by the time you got Cody, well, two ends really, 39 and then 40. By the time you got to what you think is the end, you are desperate for Cody Rhodes to like end this death clutch. And you've got that here with the Death Riders. And it is easy to like look back on the bloodline and forget that 2021 was broadly trash. IMO. I know you disagree, but like I remember a lot of those pay-per-view matches awful because you remember the best of it, and we are reaching the point with the Death Riders where we're at the best of it.
I can see the comparisons with the Bloodline, and again, I'm slightly biased here because I love the Bloodline. It's my favourite ever storyline.
I want to say, by the way, the Bloodline is substantially more entertaining. It's peaking the Death Riders. Moxley and Roman as champions is what I'm more.
Yeah, but even to that, I'd say like, yes, I get it. You know, people were desperate to see Roman lose the title and desperate to see Mox lose the title. I just think the Mox Death Rider stuff, there's never been for me any like, oh, that was pretty good fun, wasn't it?
No,
it was just like, oh, yeah. Oh, and he's the bit of hope spot, a bit like this match, bit of hope spots. Oh, that's a bit of fun, and then no. everyone gets choked out in the end, or Mox wins.
I'm not saying you have to go like for like, but the point at which you would have enjoyed the Death Riders is if like they'd have invited in a tweener like Sami Zayn, who sort of shows a Moxley like
levity.
But that never would have happened. Never. They would have never. Yeah, it's dirge. And some of it has been obviously by design for this home stretch.
Yeah, I get the excitement around it coming to an end, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, maybe we've misjudged the Death Riders. No, it's been terrible throughout.
I think at absolute best, you might get in the potential euphoria of All In, or whenever Moxley loses the title. I think there will be a lot of ends justifies the means discussions. And I think and I don't know yet if they will. But I think that'll be an interesting debate, like when the time does come. Like
you never had I just randomly saw it on X yesterday, the bit with the tag match at Money in the Bank with just before Eric was born, if I remember rightly.
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah, like the
pop. What?
No, we've not. Like the closest you've got is ultimately like what you're in now, like something like Hangman and Swerve.
Yeah.
Finally putting the differences aside, that's what you're going to get that runs that close.
And it is going to be very interesting just to circle back to see how Swerve and Will react if they are successful, if Hangman is the one to dethrone Mox. Like the things they sacrifice to get nothing could factor into their stories going forward. Yeah. I'm not suggesting another Swerve heel turn or whatever, but Ospreay, not straight away, not for a while, but down the line he could say, look what I gave up a bit.
It's Kevin Owens, right?
It's Kevin Owens, it's Seth Rollins, arguably, as well.
Mm-hmm. But these are, we're not doing this as a purposeful, they're just using a recent WWE example. There's, a good babyface chase offers you all of these outcomes. So
we had post-match comments from the Hurt Syndicate following their title defense at Double or Nothing. MVP celebrating the fact it's their 5th successful title defense, and a great night as the MJF's debut as a fully fledged member of the Hurt Syndicate. MJF is just loving life. He puts over Bob and Shelton Benjamin. These titles aren't going anywhere. In fact, it's time to strap us all in gold, probably. I want my Triple B back, says MJF. If you step to the Syndicate, you will end up in a pool of your own blood and piss. Because when it comes to the Syndicate, it's not personal. It's just business.
Yeah, this was all right, wasn't it? It was a bit of a week off. In terms of there was no developments of the plot, not really. Maybe that's not true. MJF saying, "Well, I want my belt back," and kind of Bobby Lashley. There's always the threat.
But there was fist bumps in there.
But there's always the threat of we're going to at some point clash, and it's going to be over the smallest thing, but that's going to make it the biggest thing, and the who zooming who of it remains in place constantly. Hangs over. It's good. It's good tension, but this was a week off the big, the big sort of dramatic end of it.
We also hear from Ricochet, who says that after Double or Nothing, after the stretcher match, he's going to continue his quest for gold. But he's looked at the landscape of AEW. He sees the Death Riders, the Opps, the Don Callis family, and he realizes, I need a crew, some loyal subjects on my quest for gold. Once I find the perfect crew. I'm going to show everyone why Ricochet is out of this world. Oh, sorry.
I know what you're thinking of. He's going to recruit the Dark Order.
No, actually.
What?
I'm thinking of the crew.
Oh, I'm taking the piss. It's great.
That's awesome.
I'm falling in love with crew. Haven't we all?
Been a day one for the crew, yeah.
Whatever Double or Nothing was when they came out in those inflatable spikes.
Andy had a great idea as well. When they eventually split... Yeah. He burst the crew jackets with his scissors.
Love it. In the meantime, just Ricochet's started wearing these suits with these really ostentatious capes almost and things like that. They get him an inflatable one. He's got wearing what looks like a lilo basically, but with armholes in.
Yes,
let's do that. Inflatable stuff, and then they can bump on it.
Yeah,
bounce back up.
No, sir.
One of the crew just keeps getting punched. They fall down and bounce back on, off the bouncy spikes. Perfect. Already feels perfect, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Because, crew can go. Leo Rush is a henchman, but also, a work rate guy alongside Ricochet.
He just looked and gone, well, Ricochet gets booed out of the building before he even talks. Who else do they do that for? Oh, yeah. Andretti and Leo Rush.
And some more coming up later on.
Yeah. Then we got... a women's match?
And not even the first female wrestlers on this.
No.
Show. And not even the only women's
No.
segment. This wasn't I know we did the times yesterday, but is this one of the, I need this to go like to VAR or whatever. Does this count? Like what are the rules?
I think it has to be a match.
Like
and
Willow and Marina wrestled.
That doesn't count. We said before if they just sort of strong arm them into an intergender match.
I sort of drift out when you're on about that. I don't know what the rules are.
It was the only women's match on the show, but yes, like you say, they were given prominent positions across it. It's improving, unquestionably. But it was a women's.
Sidge got this one, didn't he? He'd be raging if he had that point taken off him.
Yeah,
so we'll give him that point. We'll give him that point.
We'd never hear the end of it. Absolutely. We'll get to that in a second, though, because we have to talk about the women's tag no DQ match. Oh, I should have mentioned there was a promo earlier on from Ford and Bayne, basically saying, "Oh, you cheated to win our match at Double or Nothing." So we're having a no DQ tag match. And it was, yes, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Harley Cameron and Anna Jay. Megan Bayne had a golden chair.
Yep. Like that.
Cameron and Jay had like boards. Penelope Ford had a trayish can. And they didn't mess about. Immediate brawling, obviously. Ford sends Anna Jay into the barricade. Bayne tries a corner cannonball through the chair early, but misses it. There's a double DDT by Jay and Cameron on Ford. And Bayne gets hit with the board shot by Anna Jay. No sells it. So Holly Cameron just nails her with a pipe instead. They sort of ping-pong Megan Bayne back and forth, chair and pipe and what have you. She never goes down, though, and takes both of them out with clotheslines. Cameron gets out of a suplex. There's a drop toe hold on Bayne onto the... Yeah, because she's trying to suplex her onto the gold chair. Instead, Cameron toe holds her onto the gold chair, and Jay drop kicks the chair right into Megan Bayne's face, and they do the big boot leg sweep combo on Ford to take us to a break, setting up tables. When they come back, Bayne wants to Uranagi Cameron off the apron through the table, but Cameron battles back. She tries a sunset bomb, but it's Megan Bayne. She's holding on. The only thing that's going to get her off is if Anna Jay nails her in the head with a chair.
That's good.
You got hands up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look good.
Crashes through the table.
Everything did.
Yes. This is where it kind of went awry, let's say. Cameron tried a Cazadora on Bayne. She countered into a face buster onto the steps, and Harley Cameron's face exploded here.
Yeah.
Blood all over the place. Fair play to Harley Cameron, who just...
a bit of this lately, aren't there?
She's busted her nose or whatever. She shoves away Paul Turner. She doesn't want the help. She wants to carry on the match. There was Bayne making the save for Penelope Ford, and then she hit the Fates Descent, the F5 basically, onto the chair, and Anna Jay was not seen for the rest of this match, basically.
No. You caught her being helped out by the doctors was it just in the post-match maybe when the heels were celebrating?
Yeah. Cameron saves the pinfall, but she gets hit with a lariat by Bayne, who's furious. She starts throwing chairs around. Doctors are checking on Anna Jay, and Ford goes up top, and they miss a doomsday device to get the 1-2-3.
They sure do. Yeah. Come on. I couldn't tell, right? Maybe this is a generosity corner. I couldn't tell if the falling apart. What would be the? I said this last week, and I never thought of the jingle. Generosity corner. Like the falling apart of the match towards the end did add the chaos that's supposed to come with a plunder brawl. Like, which is hard because you book plunder brawls every week, all the time. It
did feel weird that they were like, no DQ match, chairs and pipes and stuff. And I was like, just seen Anarchy in the arena.
Can't top it, can't touch it. Like, they've got an uphill battle. And if it wasn't Anarchy in the Arena, it would have been the match that was last week and the week before. You know what I mean? Like, and if it wasn't Anarchy in the Arena from Double or Nothing, it would have been like the stretcher match.
Yeah, I was gonna say, someone got busted wide open there.
Yeah, you're never short, right? You got like Zelina Vega in MMA on Saturday night's main event. Like, there's lots of situations in wrestling at the moment that look like what we just saw here. So I understand how, if they were trying to gimmick a bit of chaos with something like the Anna Jay, you couldn't have accounted for what happened to Harley Cameron. But the Anna Jay injury, for example, that leaves her out of action, and she's fine. But that was part of the match, let's say. Then it puts over the heels. However, the little botches and the clunkiness towards the end, capped off by that Doomsday Device whiff. Oof. Like, that really... I've never seen a Doomsday Device missed. So I don't even know... Not like shoot missed. So I don't know if you work it or not. like they ran this spot, didn't they? And Harley Cameron countered it. Was it on Collision or on it was maybe on the pre-show to Double Nothing. I've definitely seen Harley Cameron counter a Doomsday Device with these two. But this time they've hit it, but they've not. I've never seen that happen ever by anyone. The Dudleys, the Legion of Doom. I've never seen anybody miss them when they're supposed to hit them. So if you're the person selling, are you like, well, we're going down. Like, I'm either falling forward or you're falling back, but I've got to go down. This was the finish. Like, what do they do?
You can't do it again.
No, and her face, she's probably not totally with it because her face is all over her face. So, like, she's got her own worries at this point. Kind of a nightmare ending, but they really worked it before then. And again, I want to say, like I said in the Death Riders match, so I'm like, I can afford the same concession here. Like, the crowd were really with it. Like, the energy was brilliant for this. Like, it's the stuff that you get away with when you're in front of a hot crowd. Said it for WWE. I can't not then say it for AEW. If the audience in the building are hot for it, you are doing something right. You are wrestling to your audience. It was impossible not to go like as the last sort of 2 minutes crumbled in front of your eyes.
What I couldn't believe after this was the calls online for like, well, after that, you need women's tag titles in AEW. And I was immediately like, no! A, this match wasn't the one to be like, well, that shows that we need to do it.
No.
B, no more titles.
Too many belts.
And especially C, like, I get it. You could, you've got Ford and Bayne I like as a team, obviously. And, Jay and Cameron have been doing great stuff as well. And you could throw together Willow and Chris. They settle their issues. They become... I just don't think there's the depth of talent there. I mean, we've been talking about on over there about like, it's Monday Night Raw, and you've got, 3 teams in the men's division as tag teams? Look, I just think it was baffling to me that people thought, well, now's the time to make this.
Is it not a problem that they're working hard to obscure with the men's division right now?
Yeah.
They're trying the hardest with these Hurt Syndicate semi-squashes to simultaneously get a team over as a must.
I like the Sons of Texas, but there's no chance in hell they were taking the tag titles.
No, and the best you can do is have a dominant act be like, well, like, if only a proper team would come for them. And it's just like, all right, well, who are the proper teams? So that's why instead you do this like dominant run where it just appears like they're knocking off jobber teams. Not to be disrespectful to anyone, but like just low on the pecking order teams. But it's because there just aren't that many like upper tier teams that are ready to go.
I mean, if it's the way to get more than one women's match on Dynamite, I may allow it. Yeah, but I don't see it.
I wasn't for secondary titles in the women's division in WWE, and they've like come as close to parity as you've been in years, and I didn't even need secondary titles there.
People are already speculating whether or not they're going to like unify the women's titles because Mercedes could hold all of them.
Yeah, and then that would work around.
But that doesn't necessarily mean, we've solved that problem. Let's make a new one for ourselves.
Yeah, I didn't know that was being pitched. But it's a bad one.
I don't mind the TBS title. Like, it shouldn't be on Mercedes going for, well, depending on what happens, I suppose maybe it should be. But, like, I've not got as much of an issue because I can't sit here and say I don't like the TBS title when I'm sat here on many other podcasts saying, quite like the women's IC title and women's US title if they're booked properly. But I don't need any more.
I think it's probably got to be, I'm sounding like Sidgwick in 2019 here, it's probably got to be one or the other. Like,
yeah.
I would... Like, you can have a women's singles division and a women's tag division in the same way you can have a men's singles and a men's tag. But then the second you start adding, as we've seen with the men over and over again, the second you start adding secondary titles, the battle becomes, well, which is the secondary and which is the tertiary? And then which is even lesser than that and that and that and that. And it just, like, they don't seem to book with that rankings brain towards the belts anymore. Like, even with the TBS, Mercedes has had it for a year. Nobody has been calling her a secondary champion.
No.
It's not been like IC to the world, has it? It's just been, she's arguably the top star, or Toni Storm's the top star, and now the two top stars are facing each other. So yeah, it's a tricky one. I wouldn't bring in tag belts unless you were certain A, that you were going to unify the two singles, and B, you had, like, no exaggeration, 5 teams ready to go, like that many.
Yeah,
because you like enough to run a tournament for the first champions.
Yeah, that
aren't just thrown together units, and I don't think they can get there.
No, I don't think so either. But as I said, that was the one women's match on AEW Dynamite. So, Sid, before we get to the name of the game, it's time for the aim. The aim of the game. No. What are we doing? Yeah, they do one women's match. He does it far better than I do. They do one women's match, and the aim of this game is to identify, underline, and italicize, and put in bold this fact.
Data.
Yeah, when the women come out to play, the main event is too far away.
We've done it. We've cracked it.
But normally it happens a little bit later in the show. Normally it happens a little bit later in the show.
Ladies' night.
The name of the game.
Ladies' night.
Ladies' night of the what a night. Thanks as always. Yeah, I think I'm close enough. Thanks as always to the Panda Blair himself, Adam Blair at Adam Wilton 4 and Jose Palomares at the Ho 11, the guys who always take care of the
information.
Thanks. This sort of thing. We were very close together with our guesses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Siege went earlier, and he won.
Yeah.
It was 48 minutes and 20 seconds, a match time of 11 minutes and a second, which puts Michael Sidgwick on par now with Michael Hamflett for the year. 3 correct guesses for the two of you. 5 for me. We'll revisit this next week. And we'll move on. Actually,
I look forward to the day where we can make a belt, spend the money on getting a belt made that looks like the 1995 WWF Women's Division title, but it says Ladies' Night on it, and then we can Medusa it and just have a big trash can.
Oh yeah,
drop it in the trash.
And then we could. Was it John Cena who blew up a trash can, or was that that was JBL with John Cena's old spinner belt?
Yes, you want to blow up a trash can. For content. Yeah. All right, I'm up for that, actually.
But sticking with the ladies, actually.
Who?
The ladies. Because Mercedes...
Money.
Shows up on a lowrider. Oh, class. Yeah. Saw one of them when we were in San Francisco years ago. I was like, why doesn't my car do that?
So I saw one in San Francisco recently with Phil, and it was like an old-timey car, but converted into a lowrider. And he was blasting Sinatra out the windows.
Yeah, I don't think I could really do it with my Peugeot 3008, to be honest.
I just picture
enjoying it, Eric
in the back. Yeah,
this is class. Like my mum's driving this. Right, let's move on.
Got it.
And get to, let's be honest, the highlight of this show, for me at least, because with the trios champions, it's the Opps, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Katsuyori Shibata against a team, I'll be honest, I was not aware of as much as I should be until they came out here and, give them the belts for me.
Oh, my God.
Yep. As Andy Murray assessed this morning, no real surprise that meaning like the Frat House Boys.
I can't do it.
Jack Jameson introduces his boys. Preston Vance, Cole Carter, I've seen him before somewhere, and Sting, and Griff Garrison. Yeah. They come out. They got the red cups. I want to party with these boys.
Well, you can. I love this, right? I gotta be sad. Have you got the promo written?
I've got pretty much, yes. I've got the promo, yeah. They've got, so they come out. Mm-hmm. Jack Jameson, love that guy. Yeah. Love what he was about to say. There's also Pledges, I believe it's called, with the Frat House flag. And Jack Jameson says, last night we were hanging out in El Paso, Texas. That's where they are. Mm-hmm. We were throwing one of our famous Frat House parties. And he said, I saw some, stuff about El Paso Strong. And I was like, yeah, obviously. Well, I don't know about that. All the guys are weak and skinny and the girls are fat and ugly. Yeah. They didn't find a new member. But they aren't going to leave empty-handed because they're leaving with the trios titles. By the way, during all this, the faces of Hobbs, Shibata, and particularly Samoa Joe are incredible.
Yeah.
They're letting it happen.
Perfect contrast to this. And they're almost starting to get licking the lips excited about decking these guys.
Yeah. Joe is, as we're about to get to, Joe's face is, give me a reason.
Yeah.
Give me a reason. And Preston Vance does that. Win or lose, we're always on the booze. Wham!
Good stuff.
Nailed in the face by Joe. And then they just kill him. I was very disappointed in the match result here.
I hope it's start of a best of 7 series won by the Frat House. Screw the Opps. No, the Opps were good at playing their part here. They helped get over this act that were given the opportunity to maximise their minutes on Dynamite. Presumably back to Ring of Honor they go. Or maybe to Collision, because this felt like, if it wasn't a promotion initially, I just sensed that this has gone really well. This has gone really, really well.
I did see people calling them Temu Chase U, though, which was very funny indeed.
Chase Temu.
Nice.
DH Chase.
That's the ultimate Forbidden Door. Frat House versus Chase U.
I was just thinking that was the ultimate gate. DHK. Frat, like, I love this act already. I do like cheer. Apparently, I like American College gimmicks. But
Frat House Challenge. Oh my God, imagine them getting killed by the Hurt Syndicate.
yeah, like there's so many ways you can slot this act in. I just got a bit sad because they were talking about it was either like Shifties or Swifties. There was a bar in where they had the party. And it's a Shifties dive bar. And I've already forgotten the name of it. I just Googled it and it's just like a great place to get beers in the game. And I just got a bit sad. I was thinking, there was the Thunder and the Timberwolves last night.
Oh, hang on, wait a second. Are we on a basketball tangent?
You can call me Basketball or Al.
Yes.
My beloved Timberwolves were eliminated last night by Oklahoma City Thunder, who, in my experience of watching basketball, seem like the best basketball team.
Yes.
But there's Pacers Knicks. Still quite nicely poised, but your newly beloved Pacers, because you've watched some really well edited Instagram.
Yeah, I have no idea about any of this. This is what I like about discovering new sports. I know none of the stories. And
then promptly undiscovering the sport after a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'll forget it all. But the Reggie Miller, Tyrese Halliburton stuff.
Lots of
I was reliably informed it was going to be Knicks in 6, and it rhymed, so I like that. But that's impossible now, right?
It is impossible. They could still go to Game 7, but I think the Pacers could wrap it up tonight.
This was last night, yes? The Knicks Pacers, or was it?
That'll be 2 nights.
Okay.
Yeah, Thunder and Timberwolves last night. And then if it's like Thunder and... The problem is, and the NBA haven't really thought about this, if the Pacers beat the Knicks, it's like an all-fed final.
Oh, is it? Is that how the teams have divided up?
Yeah, and the NBA didn't make that concession for me and Phil not thinking about geography when we picked our teams.
Came close, though.
We were picking based
Phil
on
Knicks.
Yeah. We were picking based on names. We didn't consider the conferences. So it's...
the rankings.
They've really knackered up our booking. Like, Brian's gone to the trouble of making these amazing brackets, and it's been in his use like different images of our face for each round. Like, I noticed that stuff, Brian. It means something to me. And like the idea of an all-fed final is like less appealing than the drama. Especially because like the Knicks have like had so much of the drama throughout this playoff season, play you off. And
is there any injuries? Is that what's caused this? Or
I sense, I don't know, and this is a twist. I know nothing. Like, I just sense the Pacers are better. I think that's what's happening. I think the 2 best teams are going to make the final. But I hope they don't. I hope there's a me versus Phil final, and even then it's not a final because there could be 4 of them, there could be 5 of them, there could be 6 of them, there could be 7 of them. That's the twist. That's why, as Phil keeps telling me, you can't fly to America to watch the last game, Hamflett.
Right.
Hypothetically.
Yes.
Like, even if Dublin to New York is only like 6 to 6 hours 45, you can't do it.
Not that you've looked this up.
Because you can't. You'd have to go. I think it goes like Thursday. Like, let's say Thursday, Saturday, Monday would be like the last 3 games if it goes past game 4. And you can't, because you'd have to commit to like all of the days and then it could be over and done with. And then there's no choice but to be...
You could be our live Raw correspondent or something.
I didn't even consider that.
Charged to work.
Not that I was considering any of this.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing. That's what's funny about this. I'm laughing. You just can't do it. And I can't find a bar in Newcastle.
So what's your next thing when this all finishes up?
Club
World Cup?
I don't know.
It's definitely not that.
Yeah, football.
The Women's Euros is on, I suppose. That's good stuff.
Football wrapped up on Saturday forever, so I'm good with that.
No.
Season finale, I'm
Champions
happy.
League this weekend.
No more of that, please. Basketball finishes middle of June, I think.
When's the football season start?
This is why...
Get your football team.
This is why I'm fed till I'm dead, man. It never ends. It's always there, whether you want it or not. It's always there. The
NFL season starts.
The hockey does that finish around the same time as the basketball, Nicholas?
I don't know the exact date, but we're on the same stage.
It's so like it's all the conference finals.
It's quite close,
yeah.
God, NFL.
Oh, you lads are 3-1 up now.
I know. I like. They're my beloved Oilers, as we know.
You and Phil couldn't stop talking about the hockey while we were.
we were hockey daft.
It was me on the basketball and you two loving the hockey.
There was a moment, wasn't there, where Canada's loyalties were divided, and then the basketball was like a little bit hotter for a second, and they got there was like a turf war.
Oh,
and it was like you could see it started off with like Nicholas and his dad found a bar that had like both on because it was a hockey mania. in Canada, obviously. That's what they call it.
That's what they say.
And it was a split, but then the basketball was hot for a second. And there was some like wild comeback in that one we watched in that bar.
That was the two different comebacks in both games, I think. Yeah, it was sport.
Everything was great, wasn't it?
The sports were going to be good.
Sports were happening. So there's the NHL ones.
NFL doesn't start till September. Premier League will be back by then.
Yeah. So they keep telling me.
But yes, I should mention what happened in the match.
I saw a picture of someone. I don't know how this has existed because he just seems like the loveliest young man. But there's some sort of image of like Amad Diallo getting off a plane and flipping off some Man United fans. It's obviously been like it's been captured at the right. I'm sure he's flipping off some photographer there. Hey, Amad Diallo, you piece of shit. And like he's like, but then like somebody's tweeted like Amad Diallo flipping off the Man United fans. He's coming home. Like that's what happens now.
Yeah.
Like we can make a play for him.
Also, I remember, that bar was called the Unicorn on 4th.
The Unicorn on 4th.
Yeah. So shout out to the Unicorn on 4th in Calgary. That was it was all happening there.
Had a Yorkshire pudding at the Unicorn on 4th.
Did you?
Yeah. Phil sort of won me over. He was like, I forget what I was going to order. Probably a poutine.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was like some sort of like some half Canadian, half English roast meal featuring a ginormous Yorkshire pudding. It was great. It was like, everything was great. Everything was better.
11 months. Less than 11 months.
Yeah. Aye. The WWE dropped the graphic, mate. Drop the Vegas graphic. You pissed everybody off now.
Yeah. Not us, but...
Not us, but literally everybody else.
Everyone other than 6 people.
Yeah. So, got my eye on that Fremont Street zip line.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I can highly recommend it.
100%.
You've done it, haven't you?
Yeah, done it before. I've got my eye on those firecracker machines that Nick has now got me addicted to.
Yeah, well, it was you I sent it to, wasn't it, Nicholas? There was a picture that Bailey just posted randomly of from like 3 weeks after Mania or something. Here's a nice picture of me and Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
And they're just on a casino floor. And I sent it to Nicholas, was like, I'm not looking at either of these wrestlers because to their immediate right was a firecracker machine. Yeah. And I think you spotted, didn't you? It was like one of the bars was, I think they could get that one.
I'm so glad as well because I was all ready after the initial because I was like, I'm not going to do it straight away because that's really sad. A month or two after we get back, I'm going to have to unfollow all the Sin City Shots account of like the amazing...
Our friends at the official Vegas board.
Oh yeah, I'll never unfollow them, but like, you know, the ones where it was like a really nice shot of like, hey, what about watching a football game in a pool or whatever? I was like, very nice, but I'm never, not in the next 4 or 5 years. Let's go.
Did you play Firecracker at the airport, Nicholas?
No, I actually resisted, although I really, really wanted to. I really, really wanted to and didn't.
I did.
Did you?
On my own.
Did you?
I was on my own.
Yeah.
You had some like dollars to get rid of or something?
Yeah.
That was it. I didn't have...
That was the excuse I told myself.
With my card.
I got the dollars. I got quite a few dollars from those firecracker machines, and that was too many. So I decided to just stick. In my head, I was out of Vegas. So I thought best not to go back into Vegas.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like,
still carrying it with me, baby.
I think this is the point. Like we had to keep quiet about this last week, obviously. But when
leaving Las Vegas was literally playing at the airport.
Oh, that was too much, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, that was too much. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like last week when obviously the news broke of the New Orleans cancellation and all the various sort of divisive discussions about it and everything. Like, I mean,
I have all the people who are expecting a Dynamite review here, by the way.
Yeah.
What is this, the SmackDown review?
They're sort of.
One's coming tomorrow, don't worry.
We had to keep quiet about this. Even the OTJ couldn't let this one loose. But like we kind of had an inkling that this was going to happen. This potential Vegas situation. Please drop the graphic, because obviously after like you guys and my cousin Nick cleaned the city out via their firecracker, they've been looking for a win. Like that's it.
Something.
It's cash poor since you guys rolled into town. So they've needed like something for next year to get there to drive the revenue.
The only thing that won that weekend was Aurora Bar.
That's true. Aurora Bar and you guys on Firecracker. The city is still in a state of recovery.
Shout out to Omos, by the way. Check out. I've got an interview with him on the main channel. That's really good stuff. And huge.
And to everybody at MGM. Always.
Miss the HyperX hype tunnel. Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh, yeah, the Opps versus the Frat House. We haven't actually talked about the match yet.
Who cares? Frat House are part of the Opps are boring. Opps squash them. Next.
Yep. What came next was, Renee Paquette was in the ring, and she brings out a woman who fought her heart out at Double or Nothing, Jamie Hayter, and she says, unsuccessful at the pay-per-view. What's next for you? And, what's next is all the lights go out, and then this spider, appears on the screen, and I'm thinking, what on earth is this spider?
It's Tekla.
Right. And the lights come back on. Jamie Hayter's taken a nap, apparently. She's just gone to have a quick lie down in the ring. This was dreadful. So she attacks Hayter, forearm, drops her, does the Bray Wyatt spider thing, which Taz popped me by saying, Tarantula Jones over here.
That really didn't help. I already sensed that this was I don't mind this, but I think people are going to rip the piss out of this. And then Taz was just like, well, I'll definitely get that over the line. Tarantula Jones.
Whilst they're saying she was fired because she hit a company official or whatever. And a quick word on the people of El Paso, by the way. I think they should check what you need to look for in and around El Paso, and particularly this arena, is tracks, grease marks, scratching noises, any sort of nesting materials, gnaw marks or droppings, because you can hear a red piss on card when this happens.
I am going to be kind to Tekla, because I can't do that spider pose.
Nope.
And it's and people used to love it when Bray Wyatt did it, and can you say this? I didn't give a shit then. So.
Well, you said it, so.
But it was it got over.
Yeah.
So if I'm her, I do that as well, because I can.
Just the toxic spider.
Yeah. It's we like NXT, come on. Play the game.
I didn't say anything, I'm just reading her name out.
The toxic spider.
Yep.
I am going to
make fun of my show, I'll make fun of yours.
I'm going to let this play out. I didn't think this was as much as a disaster as I've seen quite a few people online suggest it was. I think there's a couple of things happening here, right? So those a bit more in the know of Tekla, of which I am not. You can tell me after we finish recording about the best matches she's had.
Yeah.
Have said when this spider started appearing in the matches. It's and I could be getting the pronunciation wrong, by the way, because I was informed ahead of time. It was Thekla, it's a TH, but then they were going by.
Yes,
Tekla,
I wasn't
so
sure how to. I'm glad you said it. To be honest,
I don't mind.
There's a little bit of. It is Tekla, but
Yeah.
the Thekla is a exceptional music venue in Bristol.
Oh,
And why is it?
is it spider shaped?
No, it's better than that because
Is it toxic?
no,
it's toxic.
it's not toxic. It's not a spider, but it is a boat.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a boat that's just constantly anchored there, and they do gigs and stuff in there, and it's really
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think I'm not been to a gig there, but I think I might have had a pint.
Yeah.
That's
on
pretty
that
cool.
boat,
Very
a
possibly.
day pint on it, and I never.
There you go.
On the river.
Can I offer you a bar with a speedboat in it, with the DJ booth in the speedboat in Chesterfield?
All the flavors of the VK rainbow.
That's where I last saw Gabe Kidd. So,
That's true. Yeah.
what the hell are you doing here, Gabriel Kidd?
Let's let Thekla play out.
No.
Tekla. It was the attack. I tell you what, of all the things, it's wrestling. You can have a toxic spider if you want. You can. This is the thing.
Yeah.
But you know what was really stuck out to me here? Oh no, the lights have gone off. It's all the time.
I'm sorry about this. I don't know what's happened here.
Just at this point, one of them might as well say who's coming.
Yeah.
And nobody would go, what?
Yeah,
I thought there was an outage.
No one's going, put 50p in the meter.
Yeah, because I can't work out, because the attack went a bit skew-if as a result of the lights coming back on. I can't work out if that was by design and it just played out badly, or it was by accident and she attacked too soon. I don't know. But the pose was the pose. It got over once upon a time when Bray Wyatt did it. I didn't give a toss then, but loads of people did. So maybe people will give a toss this time. You can apply a lot of what you do or don't like about someone like a Malachi / Aleister Black to a character like Tekla. That's what I get from my very first impression. I will allow the matches to prove me wrong. But if you are into this, and I'm assuming she's brought with her a fan base, maybe others will too. You've got to let this.
I also don't think it helped that they basically went, anyway, enough of that. Here's a promo for Mystico. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, aye. But they've got that. that massive show in Arena, Mexico to look forward to as well. So it's the big AEW summer, isn't it? So like they expect a lot of this now.
Grand Slam Mexico, June 18th.
Yeah, a lot of big. You got the 4-hour Dynamite next. Is that the Dynamite after? Hang on,
next week Fighter Fest. Yeah.
Fighter Fest is next, right? But that
when they say 4-hour Dynamite, do they mean like 4-hour Dynamite collision taping thing, or is it legit a 4-hour Dynamite?
Cedric asked me this yesterday, and I know for a fact that both of you are asking based on like review and preview purposes. Because for me, I can just get the hell out of here when Dynamite's finished. I believe it's a split. Okay. I believe it gets to like the 2-hour mark, and then Dynamite ends, commercial break, it comes back, collision.
Right.
That's how I understand it, but I don't know how they'll play that out across a single branded Fighter Fest on a one night. I don't know. But I think it's playoff based. I think the reality is because they might lose collision to a playoff, but then they might not if it's wrapped in 4.
Right.
I think, I don't know that. American sports fans will be calling me an asshole if I'm incorrect. It's either this week or next. It's like when all these playoffs are coming to the climax, obviously they don't know what's going to wrap and when. So a Saturday thing might need to be bumped for the sports.
Right.
So I think that's why they've done it like this. So I think there might be another one where that might happen. But if it goes well, we've had this before with the rampages that follow Dynamites. We've had this before. If the number is higher than average, get worried because the networks will be keeping a keen eye on this, won't they? And there's surely no better way to other than the Big Bang Theory, there's sure no better lead in for AEW than AEW, right? So if Collision Fighter Fest gets this number that dwarfs what they typically get on a Saturday, start panicking about that third hour. That's all I'll say.
Oh, boy. Then we got the TNT title match. Adam Cole versus Carl Fletcher. Obviously, Don Callis was on commentary, by the way, and asked Ian Riccoboni if he won a contest to be part of the booth.
Nice. He's cutting and cruel, is Don, isn't he?
Turned his back on the old as well. Taz was like, Hook's going to have a word with you about that one. But Fletcher obviously overpowers Adam Cole early on. But Fletcher gets sent over the top rope onto the apron. Cole hit a super kick, teased a Panama Sunrise, but the formerly smelliest tag team in all of wrestling, Roppongi Vice, now cowards, call themselves RPG Vice.
That's a great joke.
They made the save and stood in front of Fletcher, and out comes Roderick Strong.
Ooh.
If only we'd known.
Of all the weeks.
And Kyle O'Reilly.
People
Busy
love
night
that.
for him. Editing that stuff for Swerve.
Aye.
And they fight Beretta and Romero to the back. And that allows Fletcher to take advantage with an awful spot. Let's be perfectly honest about this. I'm not one of the safety police people, but I did wince at this. I always think of Kevin Owens. I apologize if someone else is attributed with this, but the powerbomb onto the apron, and obviously it's still going to suck however you
That's
take
funny,
it.
isn't it? I was thinking about that. I was like, I was wincing here because he didn't get the powerbomb onto the corner of the apron correct.
Yes. His head's still snapping back. You're still eating it. The hardest part of the ring, across your shoulder blades, hopefully it goes well. It did not go well. The back of Adam Cole's head clipped the apron as they go into picture-in-picture. Fingers crossed is all right, because that is super dangerous.
The rest of the match seemed okay.
No word following all this.
An element of this, you don't want to linger on botches unless you feel like you have to, and stuff happens in wrestling.
Yeah.
But just away from the botch, it could have been...
No one's ever said Carl Fletcher's dangerous or anything like that.
It could have been like an ankle round the post, that you slammed too hard, and then you're like, he's got that foot, he got that new foot, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It reminded me that I'm still watching Adam Cole with this worry that something else is going to go wrong. It hit me. When we were doing the Double or Nothing review and we were talking about the Paragon match, and it was like a necessary piss break match, but you'll never watch it again. And if you didn't,
I don't remember it now.
Yeah, if you don't feel anything in the moment, for the wrestlers, it's like the fans needed a breather, but you got nothing out of it on the night. It really hit me why it's going to take even longer than just the devil stuff for Adam Cole's aura to fully return, because I am watching him with too much shoot worry.
Yeah.
I'm like his concerned grandparent or something, and I shouldn't be. He's frigging Adam Cole. But in that moment, I was like, oh, God, no. And then you do that. You know what you say when you say, somehow within a microsecond of a kick out, your fantasy book in the next 6 months of wrestling. I was doing that for what happens if it's this? And what about his injury record?
Yeah.
About then what happens to his TNT title and the Paragon? And do they all go back to scratch again? It's he's a guy that's had such rough luck with injuries, different injuries as well. You know, the head, the ankle, like the fact that he was a mummified version of himself at points in WWE. I do fret about Adam Cole, and it's a weird emotional response to a wrestler.
Horrible, yeah.
Like when he goes out there and bumps every week.
But as you say, we come back and he's seemingly fine. Fletcher's still in control though, but after hitting a body slam, he poses and that allows Cole to recover and hit a super kick. And with the audience to support, he fires back, pump kick, last shot gets 2. Panama Sunrise is counted into a roll-up. Fletcher hits a snap German and a running corner boot. Tries for a brainbuster, but Cole counters into another last shot and a Panama Sunrise, and he lowers the knee pad. He's going to hit the boom. But Josh Alexander runs down and attacks for the Debbie Deeks. Brody King runs down with a chair to immediately have their match and chase him off afterwards because they were putting the boots to Adam Cole. But, yeah.
I was more patient over the finish than you were. I don't think...
I've been told Debbie Deeks is a really bad thing, so I'm just, holding everything to the same standard.
More than fair. A good take. And that's where I'll end my... No, I didn't have as big a problem with it. I think they've been quite good with the
I had a bigger problem with what game afterwards.
Me too. God, me too. Jesus Christ. Give us a chance, mate. Dynamite. I just want to love you again. I don't mind a DQ once in a while. I say this when we do the WWE coverage. Once in a while, use sparingly and use the right way as like actual troll heel stuff for the betterment of a story. You can do it. You've just got to be disciplined. And I think of late, AEW have been disciplined with these finishes. There was a point where they were getting a little bit too familiar with them, and it was becoming normalized. And it's bad enough when it gets re-normalized in WWE, but you do not ever want it normalized in AEW ever. And they've pulled back. And I was okay with this. Don Callis laughing on commentary, like, oh, well. I was like, that was the right sound. Like, he was being the dickhead to us.
Yeah.
That's having your cake and eating it when you're booking the Debbie Deeks. The next match I had a far bigger problem with.
Yeah, it was the international title 4-way qualifier to see who heads to Fyter Fest to be in the 4-way involving Kenny Omega and the international title. Brody King versus Josh Alexander. Security have got involved during all this. They went to break as King made the save for Cole. But King and Alexander just chug security out of the ring and go at it. They exchange, choking each other with their shirts, basically. Alexander dodged a chop on the outside against the post, and King smashed it with his arm, obviously, and then Alexander basically hones in on that for the rest of the match, targets the arm, slams it into the barricade. No, sorry, King fought back and slammed him into the barricade, but clutched his arm. Alexander cuts him off with DDT through the ropes onto the apron, and sends King into the steps to take us to break. When we come back, King managed to get out of something with a released German. Tried a lariat with a bad arm, that just didn't work, so he should use the other one. They're both down. There's a turnbuckle pad removed as they go up in the corner, and Alexander sends King's bad arm into that. Alexander wanted a suplex on the apron, but King put him in a sleeper. So Alexander went for the bad arm and hit a German suplex on the edge of the ring. He sets up King for his own charge against the barricade, but he mocks him and takes too long, and King gets a boot up, hit a charging crossbody of his own. There was an arm trap German out of the corner by Alexander who got busted open by, I think, King just landing on his face, basically. As he goes up top, he's just pissing blood. He wants a moonsault, does Josh Alexander, but King gets the knees up. King Kong Lariat, Gonzo Bomb, 1, 2, 3. Brody King advances.
I was going to be harsher to this, and the last couple of minutes were all right, I guess. It was just like Josh Alexander Orton. Like, he works the shoulder, 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 gets shaken off, bit of blood, 1, 2, 3, see you later. Like, it was pretty boring, wasn't it? And, like, he's made the big move. Should he have done? Josh Alexander-Arnold. Like, anything?
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you.
What is his record? It's shocking.
It's rubbish. He's won a couple of matches on Collision.
Tag matches.
Yeah, I think he
wouldn't know what you
beat
done.
QT Marshall.
AR Fox.
AR Fox, that's it. I think he beat QT Marshall for Maple Leaf Wrestling, maybe, or Maple Leaf Pro, whatever it is, where I think he's back like working as like the TNA babyface version of himself as Scott D'Amore. It's fine. Like, I don't want to be harsh to Josh Alexander.
He's won one singles match, having been in 3, 4.
So this could be booking. Generosity corner. This could be booking. He loses on his debut.
As a face.
Didn't expect that to go well, so he joins the Don Callis family in a moment of weakness and panic. thinking, well, here's my shortcut back to the top, and that's gone wrong, and the Don Callis family is not in service of him. So he's now got an army of heels with which to get his redemption against if he was to turn, but if he was to look upon his record as a wrestler that wears wrestling gear and a wrestling headgear and all the rest of it, he's like, like cheating and being the bad guy was the wrong call. And now I've learned my lessons, and I'm going to take you down and take you out, Don Callis family. I mean, I'm boring myself just talking about it, if I'm honest.
3 turns.
Well, exactly. Nothing.
Face, heel, face.
I'm not fighting for it, mate.
No, I'm just,
I'm trying to make sense of it, I guess, because the matches are not really for me. They're not. It's just good, isn't it? It's just good wrestling. Brody King, I like, but I think also feels like a bit of a. He never wins the big one, really. He's like there's levels to being the babyface that is never in the big spot, but he's like super over in spite of it. And if Brody King is here, which is a nice place to be, Mark Briscoe is like all the way up there. And that's the one that you can stick in the title match, or that's the one that you feel in your heart for him every single time. I think Brody King is like
we're barking for him, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the booking's been a bit slapdash for him. Like the Hounds of Hell. Right, we said this before, like massive entrance, scary guys. Their win-loss record's probably less than 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I'll tell you, like for a 4-way against Kenny, in which he'll retain because he's like unifying the title with the Carter, and if he's not, if he loses the title in a frigging 4-way, and it means we're keeping that belt, I think people will be angrier than if he was to win.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, there's no without happening here for me.
No.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to do a disservice to the Brody King and Josh Alexander fans out there, of which there is loads. Really, really funny. A nice read into most mornings in the WhatCulture office, 2018 to present. Me and Murray came in. Good Dynamite. Yeah, good Dynamite. Like, there's just having a bit of chat about the rest of the night before. It was like, I forget the thing he said. Probably the Frat House. I was like, yeah, I love that. And he was like, Brody King and Josh Alexander. Love that. And I was like, yeah, it was my least favorite thing on the whole show by miles. And so there is definitely, like this is that AEW has multiple different audiences. Not everybody can be happy with everything you've seen. Yeah. Match time.
500,000 of an audience on Max, apparently.
So. Well, indeed. They've got 7 figures on Max alone. But, like, you've had, Match Time Gate. You've had Ospreay, Hangman wanting to do the job gate.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have Debbie Deeks gate off the back of this, injury gate. Like, it's different gates to different needs. We've all got different fields of vision.
Nice. Carl Fletcher and Adam Cole had a fight backstage.
Don't care.
Okay. We'll get to the main event because out comes number 1 contender and women's Owen Hart tournament winner, Mercedes
Moné.
El Paso. Say hello to your CEO. I stand before you as the greatest TBS and Red Pro champion of all time. And the greatest Owen Hart winner of all time, too. Legends like my hero Eddie Guerrero and Owen Hart don't compare to the greatness of Moné. That is why I call myself the CEO.
Just make it clear.
Of AEW. I'm not going to do.
Those letters rhyme.
Yeah. Time as Toni Storm comes out, they circle each other. Big fight feel this.
Yeah.
Storm lays the AEW women's title between them. Toni, darling, we're finally met. But I know these plans are set are black and white and I want a champion full of color. Storm says she's waited, I'm not going to try to do Toni Storm. Waited so long for Moné. 441 days ago, Moné arrived in AEW on a show named after her. And since then, she's won titles, made history, and remained undefeated. And yet she's never once looked or spoken to her. Toni Storm, this is. She's been watching her since before she even came to AEW, telling Anthony Khan it's the one match he wanted to have. What took you so long? Patience, darling. Patience. It's not about you. It is about my legacy. And I'm the Beyonce of pro wrestling. I am the conversation, the blueprint, and the revolution. And of course, as we know, the revolution will be televised.
Yeah.
On Tuesday nights.
Also.
And Toni Storm fires back. Well, I'm the Toni Storm of professional wrestling.
Good line.
You'll never meet anyone like me. Well, the sad note glamorous girl I met 10 years ago is very different. So am I. I'm no longer a boss. I'm a CEO.
Same. Elaborate, or I'll consider it the same.
All in, I'm bringing the AEW Women's title home. We'll have the greatest women's match of all time.
It's awesome.
You know, says Tony, we've both got similarities. We both struggled on the indie scene. We were given trophies and flowers. And when that wasn't enough, we came to AEW and found exactly who we're supposed to be. But there's one glaring difference. While you want all the titles, I only need one title. I like that line. I've lived for this. I've cried for this. I've bled for this. I've died for this. And she says, if you want to, we didn't get it. We got close. We didn't quite get it.
Yeah.
If you want to ride the Moné train through the Tony tunnel, you better get deep enough.
That's a fanny.
Right. I was wondering what they were talking about here.
Yeah, it's a vagina.
Not even your hips are wide enough for the Moné train.
You looked dead into my eyes when he said that, you I am doing my best.
There was a line about, was it Jericho when he came back against Randy Orton and he said, your childbearing hips? I remember, that just flashed into my brain there.
I think he did. Funny.
Anyway, where are we? The Money Train. 45 days from now, we're going to meet in Texas. And somewhere in the world, a little girl with big dreams will be watching and say, holy shit, these bitches are crazy. More work for me, Tony, thanks.
I love that. A little girl.
Yeah, that's good visual. We're going to find out who the better woman is. I sincerely believe you are the greatest of all time, but unfortunately for you, I am timeless. You might be timeless, but your time will come to an end at All In. Toodles!
I knew it was coming.
Storm says, I'll see you there, darling. And handshake, stare down, pull in. Storm smells her, kisses her hand. Moné tries for the Moné Maker. Storm avoids it, tries for Storm Zero, and Mercedes bails to the outside. And they go off the air with them both while Moné's doing a dance. And Toni Storm's rolling around in the ring.
Home run.
Yeah, great stuff.
Home run performance by you.
Thank
Home
you.
run segment. More importantly, by Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. Sorry, but it was. Home run in every single respect. They got
I haven't undercut that by doing the voice, have I?
No, you've made it better. You've made something that I thought couldn't be better. This was perfect because you had all the faith in the world in Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné getting their stuff in, getting it right. Like content delivery, A+. Like they were able to fold in there, and I think that's why your performance was. I think that's why you did this. People won't give you credit; they think that you just said clown through the tears, but you're not. You're an artist.
Thank you.
And I want to give you credit for that because I think you were doing what they were doing, which was leaning into their comedic side as a way to obscure that this is ultra serious business.
Yeah,
this title match is the biggest women's match that AEW have to offer. Mercedes Moné, to her immense credit, and Toni Storm's as well, and AEW's as a promotion, throwing the line out there, we're going to have the greatest women's match ever. Like, ask Edge and Randy Orton how that feels without the agent and expertise of Bret the Hitman Hart, as I recently discovered.
Really?
Trying to work that match, right? And the pressure that was on their shoulders to try and even come close to living up to that billing. And they've just thrown that out there without anybody asking for it. Right, that takes some guts and that takes some gumption, and they can do their over-the-top personas and then leave that line in there to remind you of it's bluster. It's who they are, but when the bell rings, this is that. When you said big fight feel, you're right, because this is the dance.
Yeah.
Right, and as proven by the end when it was a dance-off. Like,
they could do that one week.
All of it. Like, they were giving you all of it. Mercedes Moné is this CEO. Don't know what it means. Toni Storm is timeless. Don't know what it means. Doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter because they are 100% locked in at this point. It doesn't matter if those characters theoretically can't even exist on the same plane, because they do, because they both want to be the best, and the best is defined by that championship belt. which again, to go back to the segment at the very start of the show, which again, synergy and symmetry all over the shop in AEW, has to be believable and earned for these words to actually carry any weight. If that women's division is in the bin, as it was for so long, you simply cannot cut these promos. We go back to rich history of four-ways all the time.
Yeah.
Like, don't my face and call it chocolate cake, right? Not anymore. Not anymore. That belt means something. Toni Storm has become one of the top stars, full stop, in AEW. Mercedes Moné arrived as one of the top stars, full stop, in AEW. This going on in the main event segment was the right choice because it was the one other thing it needed to just let anybody know that still wasn't up on it, that still was thinking, like Page and Moxley is the big thing, the Death Rider is the big thing. I wonder what Kenny Omega's up to. No, this is the other reason you're going to Dallas. Like, we're going to give you a card full of reasons, but Page and Moxley is one of the biggest, and this is the other biggest. And the flip of the Owen from Double or Nothing did away with any kind of accusations that could have been made of, like, I took that away in the opener because then we get to the real business in the main event. Not this week.
Yeah.
Not this week. They are the two exact right women in the exact right spot with the exact right stakes. And I would argue probably at the exact right point in their AEW careers as well, because Toni Storm did have a lot of, she's done it over and over again over these past 3 years. The greatest women's wrestler in AEW history. I don't think there is any question that it's Toni Storm. But the baggage of WWE was going to hang around for a long time. The way that she was poorly treated, and it was like, she proves herself once as a babyface, then she does it as a heel as part of the stable with Saraya and Ruby Soho. Then the Timeless character definitely wasn't for everybody at the beginning, and then how that works as a heel and then as a babyface. There's always this thing when you're the biggest star of, like, you've kind of always got to be thinking about the next thing as well as, like, luxuriating in what's brought you to the dance. Mercedes hasn't had to worry about that. She's coming ready-made with all the hype, with all the polish. So immense credit to AEW for having the patience to wait until it feels right. And you don't always know that till it's happening in front of you. This felt massive.
Yeah.
And the sillier they got, the better it got. Because it, like that, they were able to pull it back to the stakes and they were able to pull it back to the seriousness. I wish All In was tomorrow. The only thing working against this is the 7 weeks. I have faith in AEW right now that there's going to be some cool diversions, there's going to be some cool angles, stories. I don't know what's to come, but...
Can they coexist?
I sure hope not. But, like, in the same way that, like, it wasn't quite as, like, generational as, like, these Punk Cody face-offs. But in the same way that every time they've had one, I've just been wishing it was Punk and Cody at the weekend. Right now, I'm wishing it's Toni Storm and Mercedes
absolutely.
at the weekend. So the job of AEW is to keep this as awesome as this felt, because this was sublime stuff.
Yeah, great way to end the show. Do let us know your thoughts on all of it and our coverage of it in the comments section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch, you can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow our brilliant producer Adam Nicholas at
It's Adam Nicholas.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE and make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcast from for daily wrestling podcasts. But for now, it's been the Dynamite Review. My thanks to Hamflett. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.